So now it's time for the weirdest award going. The Most Improved Award, which sometimes gets confused for Best Player Award, which is understandable because it's just weird, Most Improved. Like, it's such a subjective thing to look at, and of course stats are not everything. But interestingly enough, I think two prime candidates are two dudes who have been pitted against each other a bit. Jason Tatum and Brandon Ingram. There are some other candidates. Bam is a strong choice for this award. I think Devontae Graham definitely deserves a nod. Yeah, he didn't keep lighting the world on fire like he did for the first month or two, but his overall improvement is still pretty damn crazy. I mean, he went from 5 points to 18 and 7 while being one of the best three-point shooters in the league. I mean, it's tough to really weigh that versus like Tatum or Ingram. You know, you're talking about two guys who were already pretty good, who became very good, whereas Devontae went from no one's heard of this guy to franchise centerpiece. And I guess Bam is kind of in the middle of all that because we all knew he was good, but he wasn't able to show it because he was playing behind Whiteside, and now he is the heart of everything Miami does as far as I'm concerned. I mean, he's their best defender. He's their second best playmaker. He's their second leading scorer and all that. Although they got a big jumble of guys when it comes to points per game. But, you know, Bam is essential to what they do. If you're about that life, you could have Siakam in here. Sabonis as well. And I think two other candidates that are staring us in the face that don't really have a chance to win among voters, but I want to mention them anyway. Trae Young and Luka Doncic. I mean, Trae went from 19 to 30. Luka went from 21 to 29, and the Mavs are in the middle of the playoff race. And while I don't really care anymore about whether it's your second year or your seventh, I do think that still kind of exists, so I don't think either one of them have a chance for it. You could go all in on Devin Booker's efficiency and whatever else, but let's keep it to the main, I guess, four. Ingram, Tatum, Bam, and Devontae. Look, if we're going by best player, then it's Tatum 1. You're having an interesting conversation between Ingram and Bam for 2, and then Devontae is 4th, right? But even then, and even now, I don't even know if I should be putting time into talking about who had the best season. Again, this is a very weird award for me. With Tatum, it's been mainly the last 2 months or so where he's been, I don't know, one of the 15 best players in the league or something. And we assume he would have continued that if the season kept on going, but how much should that count? No clue. A lot of this is subjective. I think a case that Ingram has got that Tatum and Bam do not have is that Ingram, we can see that he explicitly got better at stuff. I mean, he went from being a non-shooter to a very good one. Shot 39% on 6 threes a game. Whereas with Tatum, I mean, he attempted more, but he was already a good shooter. His shot selection improved more than anything. Well, even then, he has been one of the best off-the-dribble three-point shooters in the league. And with Bam, again, a lot of it was like just getting more playing time. But Ingram went from, is he ever going to be able to shoot, to, oh, wait a minute, nope, totally fine. Dude's a knockdown shooter out of nowhere. And I think that type of stuff should matter. His free throw percentage also got immensely better. He went from 67% to 85%. But if I'm going to be doing all this stuff for Ingram, then I probably should be doing the same things for Devontae. Another thing is their defensive impacts. I mean, Bam is the best defensive player out of this bunch, but Tatum I don't think is too far behind him. I mean, you know, I was doing my all defense teams, and once I got to second team forward, I was like, wait a minute, does Tatum actually have a bid here? And I'm not going to spoil whether I put him in there or not, but he's been very good on that side of the floor, and that matters. But even then, if this is most improved, am I comparing how good he already was defensively to now? Defense is, of course, more difficult to evaluate than offense, especially when it comes to wing players. I think another little nugget to care about is the fact that Ingram's playmaking improved a little bit as well. He got himself to 4 assists a game. That's nice. He didn't slow down once Zion showed up either, so that's cool. And I also think there's something about Ingram with going from a guy who was on an awkward team with the Lakers to day one, Pelicans desperately need somebody to score, and he took that on pretty early in the season, basically the first game of the year, I think. And the thing with Ingram, too, it's like you look at the numbers, it's not an insane jump. 18 to 24, it's only 6 points. The efficiency, of course, got way better. But it's more about when you watch him and you just look at the way he's now breaking guys down off the dribble and commanding all this attention from the defense rather than just playing off of everything the way he did, especially last year with LeBron. The improvement goes beyond the numbers, I guess, with Ingram. And I think it does for all these guys, but I think for Ingram there's something a little more interesting about it for whatever reason. Maybe it's because of the degree of difficulty, you know, like with Bam, he's in Miami. He's got the Spo thing around him, a lot of shooting, came out of nowhere this year for Miami. And Tatum's got the best security net of all these guys with Stevens and really good teammates around him. Devontae's degree of difficulty was pretty high as well, because I don't think anybody was projecting the Hornets to be anything this season, and granted, they still really weren't much, but there's actual life in the future of this team now, and a lot of that is because of Devontae, of course. You could say the heart of it is because of him, really. Like, okay, Miles Bridges, PJ Washington, Rozier has been okay enough. Like, that's cool, but I think Devontae's the main one, even if his efficiency ended up not being the best. So, yeah. I'm attempting to talk myself into any one of these guys, and I really can't do it. I don't think there's a wrong answer here. I think Devontae is certainly the least exciting one, because for a minute there, it looked like he was going to average 25 a game, and he ended up at like 18. But with that being said, I think I'm going to go Devontae for most improved. Like, I understand. Talking about Ingram and Bam and Tatum is way more exciting than talking about Devontae. I understand it. But the award is most improved. No one knew who Devontae Graham was a year ago, and he still played basically half the year for 15 minutes a game. And I think that jump is bigger than the jump that Ingram, Tatum, or Bam took. Now, if we gave ourselves more time this year and Tatum just averaged like 30 the rest of the way, then I'd probably give it to him. But I'm operating under weird conditions, so yeah, Devontae Graham, my most improved pick.